The Brain Trust is back. Zerlina Maxwell, contributor at thegrio.com. Bill Schneider, a senior fellow at The Third Way. John Fund, columnist for the National Review. Speaking of the National Review, John, want to go with Robert Costa here. Some reporting from Robert just a few moments ago. Senator Lindsey Graham will, quote, object to any bill unless the Senate also votes on what's called the Vitter Amendment. The Vitter Amendment would end federal contributions to federal health care plans. If this is indeed the case, how does this, Bill Schneider, further complicate, and John as well, we can all chime in, how does this further complicate any chance of a deal?
It embarrasses Congress because what they've done is they've given themselves a special privilege here, which the voters will not appreciate. If they vote in favor of keeping that special privilege, that they could have both the health care, they will not be forced to go on the health care exchanges. The voters may be very angry.
But why tie that in any way, shape, or form to raising the debt ceiling or opening the government?
Well, that's the ridiculous part of it. Yeah. I think all of this goes down to the fact that Obamacare is a law. It's a law. It's not a bill. It's not a debate. And then we led to the government shutdown over something that is already the law. It's been passed by Congress. It's been approved by the Supreme Court. The debate about that should be over.
There was an election that, you know, a lot of folks say was sort of a referendum on it. But
not on this Vitter Amendment. This Vitter Amendment is new because the congressional exemption is new.
But why tie it to this?
It's just a vote. That's all it is.
But why? But no. Senator Graham is saying that he will object if this is not connected to it. Why?
No. He has not said he will object if it doesn't pass. He will say object if no vote is allowed on it.
Why vote on that now? Why not open the government first?
Because it's been in the news and 92% of Americans say they don't like it.
But again, John, why not open the portion of the federal government that's still? Why not open the government first?
We used to have something.
You're not going to answer. You're not going to answer.
I just did. I'm about to.
Okay.
We used to have something called appropriations bills.
Sure.
The government was divided up into 13 parts, and this would go through the House and the Senate, and then would go to the President. It was piecemeal, 13 parts. That's how the budget used to be handled until 4 years ago. Since then, the Senate and the House haven't passed a proper budget. We are going back to regular order. Pass the government in pieces. And that's what has been done. The government has been passed in pieces and sent over.
This is to make members of Congress pay a price for the health care bill, a personal price. They and their staffs will have to go on the exchanges, and the public will be glad to see that. If they vote to exempt themselves, there's going to be a vote of rebellion against it.
Let's get the headlines really quickly. We're almost out of time. What's your headline? Of course, Thursday again. Real threat of default, depending on who you listen to, who you read, the threat of default is real. What is your headline come Thursday of this week, October 17th?
The GOP is scrambling to recover from the crisis they created.
That's your headline?
Yes.
Bill Schneider?
Default or not default? That is the question.
That's cute. I like what you did. I mean, Bill, you've covered, you've spent a lot of time covering crisis, real and manufactured. What do you think? I mean, do you think come Thursday this is something that we're still talking about, or do you think that there's a resolution?
We'll be talking about it because they go right up to the last minute, the last second. Here's the underlying rule. We can't solve problems in this country unless we turn them into a crisis. We have to manufacture crises in order to deal with issues. That's the only way policies get done here.
Your headline, John Fund.
Bill is right. It's sad. Washington spins its wheels yet again.
Washington spinning wheels on the budget. What do you think happens? How do you think this plays out?
We'll have 3 or 4 more days of argument and posturing, and the government will reopen, and there will be some concessions made to Republican concerns. Whether or not Obamacare is part of that, I don't know.
It shouldn't be a part of it.
What's going to be interesting also, we talk about Thursday. I mean, if you look at the sheer timetable of this thing, the Senate, let's say the Senate gets something done on Tuesday, it does not leave the 435 members of the House a great deal of time to go back and forth.
Well, again, 85% of the government is open and functioning as normal. This is not a shutdown. This is a slim down.
No. Because there are mothers that are not getting formula for their babies. There are people that are not able to go to work and pay their bills or pay their mortgages because they're furloughed, forced furloughed. These are middle-class, working-class people.
I talked to
the money has already been allocated.
No, but John, wait a minute, John, because that's easy to say for someone who doesn't live paycheck to paycheck. I talked to a woman this morning, furloughed from NASA, down in Virginia, and I made that point. I said, Congress is going to give you back pay. Her response to me was, well, if it goes on for 2 or 3 weeks, what does that mean? I don't get a check for 4 or 5 weeks.
I never favored the government shutdown. I'm explaining why it can go on for a few more days, and the politicians in Washington.
Well, you said it was a government slim down.
Right.
Well, that is what it is.
Well,
85% is functioning.
It's a slim down if you don't rely on the government for, your paycheck. It's a slim down.
If it's a slim down for many people in this country, but there is a concentration of people for whom this is a radical crash.
And I'm not defending government. This is not me defending government, but sometimes ridiculousness should be called ridiculousness. And
yes.
this is...
You're right.
The national debt growing by $1 trillion a year and by $500 billion under Bush, those are ridiculous, and that has to be stopped.
Zerlina Maxwell, Grio.com, Bill Schneider, Third Way. John Fund, I enjoyed you. You'll have to. I hope you come back.
I'd love to.
Thank you so much. Disrupt up next with Karen Finney.